moving sucks. So we decided to make it suck a little bit less. How do we do that? We rent those plastic boxes and dollies. We deliver them to you for when you move, so you don't have to go out and get cardboard boxes. So we deliver the crates. You go on our website, you pick how many weeks you want crates, you pick the package, we deliver, you pack and move them, and then we pick them up from your new house. It's pretty simple. This is me. I was a former speechwriter for Army generals at the Pentagon. I also worked at the State Department. I was an EMT as well. Have a couple failed startups under my belt, as I'm sure many of the people in the room have. And my co-founder, Okan, tours one in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was active Army. He's now Maryland National Guardsman, working in military intelligence. So when it comes to this opportunity, 25 million people live in cities in the United States, and about 20% of them are going to move every single year. 70% of those folks are going to move within the same county that they currently live. And so if you attach a $60 amount to those folks, that's about a $2 billion market opportunity, or a $40 billion opportunity here in DC. And that's just with the moving crate industry alone. The moving industry itself is $14 billion, and storage is a $33 billion and rapidly growing industry. So we started in the fall of 2014 with 25 crates and a dolly out of my living room. Since then, we've been featured on MSNBC's Your Business, Darlington Avenue, you know. We hit consistent 4 figures of revenue in June of 2015. Very proud of our 5-star Yelp reviews. Thousands of crates in inventory, and most excited about our partnership with Bozzuto. They have about 40,000 units here in DC and units all across the East Coast. And we are their preferred moving crate provider. We're going to be doing events in their buildings here, actually coming up next week. Our customers love our service because it reduces stress. Things don't break. They don't have to worry about moving in the rain when cardboard boxes might break down. A lot of folks in urban areas don't have cars, so actually going to Home Depot and buying 50 boxes can be quite a hassle or impossible. And that's our goal, is to make moving a little bit easier. Right now, our pricing structure is $1 a crate a week. We did that intentionally to price as if we were already at scale in order to undercut our competition and gain market share, which we've done. And I'm happy to report that we've actually started to hit that $60 average order value. Right now, we're at about $55. So what do we need to grow? We need a crate washing machine. I wash these things by hand. I'm tired of dog hair and glitter. I would like to get a crate washing machine that can process 2,000 crates an hour and would reduce our labor costs significantly. Paid marketing, we're doing some of that now. I'm actually an AdWords certified consultant by Google, and also do Facebook marketing. That's doing really well. We want to ramp that up, and we want our own dedicated operations facility. We have interest in franchising across the country. We think that's the way we're going to grow this. We're going to be looking to open a Baltimore franchise here in the next month. We also want to get into on-demand storage. There's a company out of New York that's doing this. It just came down to DC, raised a bunch of money, and we think we can compete, where they essentially deliver crates, you pack it, and then they store them for you, and then they deliver your stuff back. So we're right in that market. Additional upsells, packing materials, wardrobe boxes, which people find really, if you guys don't know what a wardrobe box is, you should take your closet, put it on a rack, and it's in a box, and you go. So it's really awesome. We are going to buy some of those and start running those out. Build on the strategic partnerships that we already have. Bozzuto's obviously great. We have a partnership with 495 Movers that we're building out. We want to grow that. And we need to raise money in order to get this thing really going. And so we're looking to raise a seed stage round of between 250 and 500K. So that's all I have. Questions?
Picture a farm. What comes to mind? Maybe a tractor plowing a field, maybe rows of corn stretching over a hillside. We think about farming a little differently. This is what a farm looks like to us. We're reimagining what farming looks like in the 21st century because we need to. Food travels on average 1,500 miles to get to your plate. The age of the average farmer is rising, and the amount of farmland is shrinking. If we don't want to be a net importer of food as a country, we really need to figure out how to increase our food production. And we think we can do that through growing food in cities. My name is Christoph Grinna. I'm the ag background. I went to school for plant and soil science. This is my co-founder, Jeff Probst-Green. He's got a business background. Our third co-founder, Kathleen's here with us today. She studied urban planning. So it's no secret that the local food market is booming right now. In the Washington, D.C. area, there's been a 140% increase in the number of farmers markets in the last 5 years. Over that same time period nationally, there's been a 288% increase in the number of food hubs, which are businesses that aggregate and distribute local food products. So with all that potential, why aren't there more flourishing urban agriculture businesses? And it's because the barriers to entry are extremely high. There's a dearth of viable urban land that can be used for farming. The cost to lease or own that land is extremely high, and if you can find that land, there's no guarantee that a property owner won't sell it or develop it, wiping out a farmer's income. We feel that we have overcome these barriers by looking to the rooftops. So who knows what a green roof system is in here? We might need some education. So a green roof system is basically a bunch of layers laid on top of a roof with soil and vegetation, and it's used for stormwater management. In urban areas across the country, we've paved over everything. Stormwater hits it, rushes into sewers, overwhelms it, and it ends up releasing toxic chemicals, raw sewage into our waterways. One of the best ways of dealing with stormwater is through a green roof system, and municipalities across the country and the world are requiring that new development retain a certain amount of stormwater, and they're using green roofs to do it. Our farms are built into these systems, maintaining their stormwater management capabilities while also creating vibrant, productive spaces. Because we use a green roof system, we're able to offer property owners a turnkey solution to meet their stormwater and environmental goals while in the most cost-effective way possible. To give you a little bit of background on the opportunity, in the DC metro area right now, there's 8 million square feet of existing green roof space that we can convert to farmland. There's 15 million square feet of new development set to begin construction in the next 3 years. That amounts to roughly 400 football fields of viable urban farmland for us to take advantage of. Zooming out a little bit more, in North America, there are 10 cities with over 5 million square feet of existing green roof, and that number is only increasing.
An Uptop Acres rooftop farm costs $4 a square foot to install, generates $4 a square foot in net profit annually, and produces 1 pound of produce a square foot annually. We generate revenue by distributing produce directly to customers through farmers markets and community-supported agriculture programs, and also sell wholesale to restaurants and retail. Our produce also creates value-added products such as honey and hot sauce. Our farms double as green event spaces where we host events such as farm dinners and tastings, and also educational programming and job training. For consulting, we focus on design and build projects, helping residents establish agriculture as a fixture of city life. We face competition in 2 distinct areas, both in satisfying the demand for local food and also competition in viable roof space. We've been able to position ourselves to take advantage of this growing market by becoming the first commercial rooftop farming company in the region, and from a regulatory and financial standpoint, DC has the best market in the country for rooftop farming. Virtually every new development will be forced to install green roofs, and these green roofs have the potential to be Uptop Acres farms. Unlike most farms, where distribution accounts for 20% of production costs, we cut out the middleman by distributing food hyper-locally. Instead of miles driven, we measure the distance our produce travels in flights of stairs. Last year, we opened our first 3 pilot farms, totaling 10,000 square feet, that provide organic fruits and vegetables to local residents and restaurants. This year, we have plans of opening over 50,000 square feet of rooftop farm space, and by 2020, we'll operate over 5 million square feet of rooftop farms. To do this, we've created partnerships with industry experts and leaders such as green roof companies to build out our farms in the most cost-effective manner, civil and structural engineers, developers, Jose Andres' restaurant group, Think Food Group, who sources produce from our rooftop farms, and local food advocacy organizations.
And time.
Hey everybody, my name is Ryan. I am the CEO of Bumble, a video platform where users vote and the best videos rise to the top. Ooh, this is the last slide there. That's good. All right. a lot of videos online every day, and I'm not the only one. Because each day, people around the world watch over 22 billion videos on just 3 sites, or web apps, applications. YouTube, Facebook, and Snapchat. That's huge. But it's creating its own problem, which is there's so much content to watch, it becomes increasingly difficult to decide which content is worth your time. There's just a clutter of things online. So we're building a video community where users vote and the best stuff rises to the top. We let the community decide what's relevant, what's worth your time, and how you should be engaging with this content. So, how do we know that this is something worth building? Well, Reddit is a community of users that use democracy to surface news articles, links to text, text posts, and even pictures. But one community, our videos, has 10 million subscribers, and they only share videos. But Reddit's design is inefficient for this video viewing. It takes 3 steps to open a video, watch it, and then engage in the comments. And that on the internet is just too much. So we want to modernize this experience and make it effortless to enjoy. This is a quick demo of what we believe video viewing with democracy can be like. It's like an Instagram feed, and when you click, it opens up so you can enjoy and engage in the conversation. But first, we started with a web application to prove that this concept has life. And we used some unique features like hovering to discover and clicking to open to help people effortlessly jump between videos. So when you hover, you can start previewing at a thumbnail size, and when you click, it opens up, and it's extremely easy to view. Now, how does this position us against these other companies that are showing so many videos? Well, our advantage is the rate of discovery that we offer. By offering this hybrid experience between YouTube thumbnails and Facebook's autoplaying, we can show you more videos in less time and get you to the stuff that's worth watching. Now, this is the most important, the business model. Your attention is worth money, and we want to work with these brands to place ads inside your feed that feel like content. So they don't annoy you. They're not pre-roll ads. They don't never interrupt you, and you never are forced to watch them. But if you do engage with them and open and watch a video to its entirety, we're going to work with those brands to reward you for spending your time and attention, building this loyalty and relationship between the brand and the user, and providing data to the companies to help them better understand their user flow from first impression to conversion. So we launched on January 4th when Reddit TV was shut down. Reddit shut down their video service because it hadn't been updated in 3 years. That day we launched, we got a lot of press on Reddit, we made it on Product Hunt the next day, and we've been growing consistently ever since. In the past month we've had 15,000 sessions, 150,000 videos open, so about 10 videos open per session, and an average session duration of 15 minutes, which is a lifetime on the internet. And so what are these users saying? We've gone and targeted the Reddit community, and they really love it. People say they'll use it daily. It solves the problem of looking for videos on the front page and brings it right to them. And it's been growing a lot. We've been coding in my mom's house like crazy and bringing this thing to life. We're really a startup, bootstrapped, and we haven't raised any funds yet, so that's on the horizon. Again, my name is Ryan Liu. I'm the co-founder and CEO. I have a wonderful partner right here. His name's Diego. We're both Maryland grads, and woo! There you go. And we're blessed to be a part of Bunker Labs DC. They've treated us so well, helped us navigate the early stages of this business. And we also have a great advisor. His name is John Shea. He's raised money before. He exited his last company at $20 million, and he's really involved in this space, introducing us to the people that matter.
So, my name is Mindy Knievel, and like Harry said, I'm from Chicago. My name is Kaizen Health.
We're founded on the principle of Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. And you might guess that we're in the healthcare space. How many of you in this room might think that our healthcare system needs a little improvement? Yeah, me too. The United States healthcare system is actually the most expensive in the world, yet we consistently underperform. We are not reaching our desired outcomes, and we come in last or nearly last when it comes to accessibility, efficiency, and equity. You might imagine that your loved one's health care goes a little something like this when they become ill. They go to their healthcare provider, they receive the care that they need, they go home, and they go on with the rest of their lives. Unfortunately, that's not the case for many people. Without transportation, many people can't get to the care that they need, or they have to go to drastic measures to get to that care. Like my Aunt Kim, who is one of the inspirations for this company. My Aunt Kim is 54 years old, has MS, and is living in a nursing home Monday through Friday, not because she needs full-time care, but because she doesn't have a ride to physical therapy, and this is the only way for her to get care because she can't drive herself, and there's no accessibility to affordable and reliable transportation for her. Unfortunately, she's not alone in that. Every year, 3.6 million people miss or delay care because they don't have access to transportation. And that costs our country billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. Can you imagine if we could reallocate that $150 billion that we waste every year on missed appointments to solving the cause of cancer or MS or heart disease? So how do we fix this? We think we've come up with part of the solution. We have a platform that is HIPAA compliant and is a logistics hub that connects patients, healthcare systems, transportation providers, and payers. Our platform allows the care management team to do their job more efficiently so they're not sitting on the phone all day trying to find a ride for people. It allows data to be brought forth so that we can reduce fraud, waste, and abuse that riddles healthcare. And it also takes down that technology barrier that faces the underserved community, which is the mission that we're aiming to strive for. The underserved communities don't always have access to an app or to a smartphone, so we can connect with them via SMS or even their home phone. Our platform allows for both industries to do what they do best. The healthcare systems can provide care, and the transportation providers can provide the transportation. Our platform is HIPAA compliant and connects through the EMRs at the hospitals and connects over to our rideshare partners, who are Uber and Lyft. Our team is the next piece that is so important. We manage the relationships, we do the training and implementation, and we provide first-class customer service to the patients, the hospitals, and the rideshare industry. We've created a win-win situation for all involved. The hospital systems will realize less missed appointments. The payers will benefit because they will have less spend being wasted on emergency department and hospitalizations. The transportation providers will see an increase in ridership and revenue, and most importantly, the patients will receive the care that they need to be happy and healthy. Our business model follows a traditional SaaS model. We have a one-time setup implementation fee to cover training and implementation. And then we have a licensing fee and a management fee on a recurring schedule for the hospital systems. We also receive a small revenue share from the rideshare industry. Our team, we are a women-owned, veteran-owned company, and we are launching in Chicago next month with Sinai Health System and with Uber and Lyft as our rideshare partners. We will be starting our first fundraise next month as well so that we can scale our company to help the most people.
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Zach.
And we're from WeTrain, and we want to train you.
We're a proud veteran-owned company, and it's really exciting to talk about the huge opportunity we have here.
But it's not as huge as I once was. 200 pounds to be exact. And I brought the pictures to prove it. But this is me today, and losing the weight transformed my life. I wake up every morning with an amazing positive energy, and I wanted to bring that to the world. So I thought, why are people doing this today? And it turns out the #1 barrier to starting and maintaining a fitness regimen is cost. And that's when I met my co-founder, Zach.
So I'm Zach. I've been a master trainer for 9 years, and after serving my country in Iraq and Afghanistan, I made it my life's passion to help people just like John progress to their fitness goals. When you look at the personal training industry, it sucks. It costs nearly $1,000 for that gym membership, and then thousands and thousands more for that personalized attention. And there's nothing worse than when someone comes up as a client and says, Zach, I'd love to work with you, but it's just too expensive. But when you really zoom in on personal training, it doesn't need to be expensive. The gym charges a massive amount per session, and then only pays the trainer a very, very small portion of it.
So that's why we came up with WeTrain, to provide the same high-quality sessions at the lowest possible cost. What you see up on the slide are our prices relative to our competitors. And you notice that's a fraction of it. But the really cool thing about it is even at those prices, we're able to pay our trainers more. Double to be exact than the national average. And we also have a really cool sweat equity program where trainers can participate in the equity upside of the company. But let me show you how easy it is to order a trainer today. Simply download the app, tell us when you want to train, how long you want to train for, what your focus is, and where you are. That's it. We'll search our base for a trainer nearby to find you the best match and get you training today. But the best part about it is that our trainers, they come to you. Anywhere, anytime. We offer both in-person and virtual sessions. And we're receiving strong traction today. After only 3 short months of mainstream marketing, we hit session 1400 and have over 100 trainers in our system. But we've done all of this in a limited service area. 3 miles of Center City, Philadelphia. And even in that small of a service area, we've actually formed some incredible partnerships with companies that you've heard of, like Comcast and Uber. But we're excited because the sky is the limit here. And this just puts our operations today in perspective and where we can go. And we've assembled the team to disrupt this massive $40 billion industry. My background is in business. I was previously a private equity investor over at Lindsay Goldberg in New York. I hold both an MBA and an undergrad degree from the Wharton School of Business. My awesome co-founder, Zach, was a master trainer for 9 years, grossing $9,000 monthly, and is currently a graduate student studying medicine at Jefferson University. We also have an amazing team, some of which are here today, surrounding us to help take this dream and make it a reality. But you might be thinking, who else is out there? And there are other competitors out there. When you look at the fitness industry, generally what you're going to see is a direct correlation between the level of personal attention you get and the cost. But the cool thing about WeTrain is we're able to deliver that same personalized attention, the luxury service of having a personal trainer come to you anywhere, anytime, at group fitness prices. But you might be thinking, does it actually make money? It is. We have strong underlying unit economics. You can think of us as the Costco of fitness. And we take in revenue in 2 ways. First, through a monthly membership fee. And secondly, through a per transaction or per session fee. Let me walk you through both. On the membership side, our members pay us $49.95 a month in exchange to access our services, of which we take that all in gross profit. On the session side, in exchange for that $49.95, you get access to sessions starting as low as $15, of which we pass all of that fee along to the trainer, ultimately breaking even per session. Now this can add up to tremendous potential. We have the opportunity here to win and win big. We're already on track to beat our forecast. We believe that we can hit $15 million in EBITDA by capturing less than 1% of the market. But this isn't your typical hockey stick, because we're already beating our numbers. We have exceeded our monthly revenue, and we've had we've lost less money, it's great to say, even in the month of April. And this doesn't even begin to account for a 30 grand contract we signed with a residential community, and some of the others that we have in the hopper soon to come on board. But we know there's challenges on the horizon, and these are 3 of the big ones that we know we need to address and are constantly thinking about. The first one is bulking up our technology offering. We have full stack developers ready to go as soon as we raise our next round. Secondly, limiting off-system transactions. This is something we've creatively thought through with our sweat equity program, as well as our revenue model to try and limit that. And the last thing is smartly expanding our product portfolio. We've actually begun pilot testing yoga, Pilates, and cycling instructors. But that's why we need you guys today. We're out raising $800,000, and winning this competition and the money and just the shebang would help us go so far as expanding into DC, which is our next market, also my hometown, go Rockville. I was hoping I'd get one out of it. As well as conquer the virtual training market. So with that, we'd love to open up for any questions that you guys might have.
The opportunity for us, we really see, is that there are many veterans that we know that want to come to Washington, D.C. Student Veterans of America was one of our partners, did a survey and found that the #1 city student veterans want to come to after graduation is Washington, D.C., and it's not because of the 10 straight days of weather or the $3,000 a month studio apartments, right? It's because D.C. is the epicenter of public policy, and veterans overwhelmingly want to serve again and view service as a requirement of every American. To date, with just one paid staff member like myself and a dedicated working board of directors, we've been able to help hundreds of veterans annually. We proactively make connections for veterans to one another, to events. We make recommendations to open jobs. On the average day, we get about 5 new member requests from veterans who are new to DC or have been in DC a long time and want to plug into our network and our community. Our Hill Vets House Fellowship program that we've created, we received dozens of applications from across the country in our first application cycle with very little advertisement. So, in terms of our impact, right, what have we been able to do? You know, I want to point to Stuart Sparker. Stuart's one of our members who came to DC and for a job and really wasn't happy, right? It wasn't a great fit and it didn't really work out. And he wasn't sure what to do. He came to one of our Hill Vets happy hours. We have monthly happy hours, we have special events. You know, our events are social, sometimes they're professional, but they're all about connecting veterans to one another, to opportunities. Within just a few months of being a member of Hill Vets and being engaged in our community, he found a new job that was a great fit for him and is now doing very well. You know, and you can read his words right there on the screen. Hill Vets was the rally point for him to plug in, grow, and navigate his career in Washington. You know, and when I think about our impact on the other side of the spectrum, on the government side, I think about a story that one of our members said to me just a few weeks ago. He's a Republican in the Senate and says, when I sit down at a conference committee and the folks on the other side of the table, the House Democrats, are folks I know from Hill Vets, not total strangers, there's a bond and a level of respect and trust there that allows us to work together in a way that doesn't exist otherwise. And that's what's really exciting about this for me. You know, in terms of business model, right? We're a nonprofit, but we're not a no-profit. You know, we have to stretch every dollar we get and stretch it very far. We were initially funded through a $20,000 grant from the Atlantic Council via the Bob Woodruff Foundation, and we're able to take that money and really have it grow. Of that $20,000, $15,000 was immediately set aside for Hill Vets House, our congressional fellowship program that I mentioned, and only $5,000 was put towards our costs. We took $5,000, which got us in about 2 months of staffing, and turned it into over $60,000 in event sponsorships. From that, which has secured us about a year of staffing, we've been able to secure long-term strategic investments from VSO partners in Hill Vets House, which is really going to allow us to grow and sustain our program and grow our network over time. You know, so we've been able to do all this from an initial budget of $5,000 in just a few short months. That's our time, so thank you.
My name is Sandra Edwards. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, former professional truck driver, and founder of Wheels on Time, the rent-to-own tire financing company. Our mission is to make tire financing easier so it's affordable to be safe. Now the problem is that the only financing option available for new tire purchases is credit cards. Unfortunately, the credit cards are too limited. They require a minimum credit score of 680, even when the national average is only 630, which is no surprise that tire dealers admit 40 to 45% of their credit applications get declined. We think that's a direct connection to the fact that over 30 million used tires are sold in the U.S. every year. I'm a former truck driver. It bothers me to think that people are jeopardizing their safety by driving around on mismatched used tires because their credit is challenged. So I decided to do something about it. Our solution is rent-to-own tire finance. There's no minimum credit score required. We have an easy approval process, and we reach the customer where they need us, at the point of sale. We do that through our retail partnership program. The way that works, our retailers, they display our marketing materials in their stores. When the customer wants more information, the retailer can provide a quote through our online platform. The customer then goes to our website, submits an application. Once their information is verified, the installation can be authorized. Now I want to tell you why it works. Credit card companies decide credit worthiness on FICO scores primarily. what they don't realize is that that leaves out millions of tire consumers who won't qualify for those credit cards. So we can finance 95% of the people that the credit card companies turn down. We have a 0% return rate because once people buy the tires, unlike the dinette set, tires are a necessity. So once they get them, they keep them. They commit to those purchases. We have a 0% return rate. So people don't bring tires back, okay? Our automatic payment plan makes us, it ensures that we get our payments on time. In addition to that, we only have a default rate of 4%. Which tells us that our financing is affordable, okay? The main competitor for us in this space is Progressive. They're the nation's leading lease-to-own company. They lease everything from furniture to cell phones. They were recently purchased by Aaron's for $700 million. That's their strength. Their weakness, unfortunately, is that they have a poor reputation. The majority of their consumer reviews on the internet are negative. And they have numerous rip-off report complaints that are unresolved. We consider our competitive advantage, our safety and affordability branding, as well as our dedicated focus on tire financing, and our customers like us. They appreciate the service that we provide for them. As you can see, 88% of our financing, of our revenue comes from new tire financing. We have a 10% road hazard service fee that we charge, and then about 2% of our revenue is generated by other auto repairs, like maybe tire alignments or other things that customers may need that are tire related but they can't afford to pay for. This market is huge. Okay, there are 40 million customers, potential customers in this market that meet our demographics. But because you only have to change your tires every 3 to 4 years, we project that at least 30% of those customers will need new tires every year. At an average cost of $500 per set of tires, that's a potential $6 billion market. Of that market, we project that at least 1% of those customers are going to want to finance their tires every year. That's a $60 million market opportunity. Of that 1%, if we go by the credit application decline rate, if we provide financing for at least 40% of that 1%, that's $24 million, a $24 million market opportunity. By just even getting a fraction of this market, we feel that Wheels on Time can absolutely be successful. We have proven that.
My name is Sean Tibbetts. I'm the CEO and co-founder of CyberTimes. I am former Army military intelligence, whatever oxymoron you want to apply to that, yourself. CyberTimes is an award-winning company. We've won awards across the country, from the Best Internet of Things company in Las Vegas to the Destination Innovation Award right here in DC. We're also in 1776 as a part of their Startup Accelerator program. What we do is actually change people's lives, right? So the first person I want to introduce you tonight is a friend of mine named Teresa. Teresa is the executive director of the Bluegrass Council for the Blind, and she was born with a vision disorder that's costing her sight slowly but surely each year. The big secret about Teresa is that she happens to be a huge parrot head, also known as a Jimmy Buffett fan. She and I were at a Jimmy Buffett concert together, and I was wearing Google Glass at the time. She wanted to put them on, and after a couple of minutes, she actually started to cry. And I asked her, I said, what's wrong? Are they hot? Do they hurt? Are they pinching? What's the matter? And she says, no, you don't get it. This thing has a camera on the front and a speaker in my ear. It can tell me what I'm looking at. These could replace my eyes. So we started working with the Executive Council for the Blind and figured out what the #1 problem in the blind community is, and I'll bet you don't know what it is. 72% of people who lose their sight lose their job. The primary reason that they lose their job is the inability to read text in their environment. So that's what we built. We initially started on Google Glass. We've now moved to a product called Vuzix Smart Glasses. And we built a really easy to use app that all the user has to do is say, okay, Glass, read this. We take a picture, we use an onboard optical character recognition engine. It works in a cave, requires no Wi-Fi, no cellular, no nothing. Process that image and then use text-to-speech to read it back to them. What this does at the end of the day is it eliminates the need for magnifiers, screen readers, braille printers, large print PDFs, all that stuff. It costs about $13,000 right now to accommodate one person with those 4 different accommodations. We eliminate all of that with one wearable device. We also are very much under the impression of we don't want to chain people to an accommodation. We want the accommodation to be on the person so they can use it anywhere that they go. But we didn't stop there. We got a phone call one day from Deb. Deb is an avid baker. She makes the best cookies you ever ate in your life, but she happens to have a high-frequency hearing loss, like a lot of veterans who put a lot of lead down range, can't hear those buzzers, beepers, timers, all that kind of stuff anymore. Her son called her one day and said, "Mom, there's this noise in the background." Turns out it was the oven timer, and she left the oven on for 3 days and didn't know. So he said, there has to be a solution out there. How can we solve this particular problem? Did not find a solution readily available. Being a bunch of engineers, we built it. So what we have is an app called Cyber Ears. It runs on your smartphone, and you train it to listen for your oven timer, your microwave, your doorbell, your smoke detector, your whatever. And then once that sound is recorded, the app runs in the background. Whenever we detect that sound, we sample every 3 seconds to recognize sounds in your environment. And when we recognize it, we send an alert to a smartwatch. We vibrate and light up the smartwatch and tell you which device is going off. For critical devices like smoke detectors, alerts are also sent to building managers, family members, caretakers, loved ones, everybody that needs to know that the smoke detector is going off. Didn't stop there. Had a friend of ours come back from Afghanistan as a double amputee and could not open his refrigerator door. So it was one of those fridges with the freezer and the fridge door and the little slit in between, and his prosthetic didn't fit in that slit, making it very difficult to open that particular door. So what do? Built a solution for him. We use custom voice commands on smartwatches, so you program the command, open glasses, open silverware, open refrigerator, whatever it is. We pair that with a 3D printed linear actuator, so we size the actuator to fit whatever installation it needs. We partner with cabinet installation companies. They do all the measurements, they do all the wiring, all the installation. We print up the actuator and send it out to them. And what that enables us to do is open and close doors, drawers, cabinets, appliances, basically anything with a hinge, all with a voice command. We're the only company in the world, and we currently hold the patent for doing just that, moving physical objects over a wireless network with voice commands. Didn't stop there. Here at Homeland Security approached us last summer and asked us to go to Dallas to be a part of the Emerge Tech Wildcatters Accelerator Program. Firefighters presented us with the #1 problem happening to be indoor location tracking. Appears to be a massive issue ever since 9/11. It's still a major issue. So using all the cool stuff that we know how to do on watches, we built an app. And using the watch, we're able to record every step that that firefighter or first responder takes when they get on scene and report all that back to command and control, telling them where all of their resources are when they're on scene. We decided that that didn't really fit with everything else that we do in the accessible technology world. We thought, you know what? We can fix that. So we use it for travel training, for people with cognitive impairments, autism, Alzheimer's, those kinds of issues, to get back and forth between home, school, and work every single day. We use vibrations and notifications on the watch to keep them on the right path as they go. Anytime they get off of that path, we vibrate, light them up, and tell them which way to go. We have a huge addressable market. Currently, there are 157 million people in the United States that can use one or more of our products. As the population over age 65 continues to grow, we know 1 in 3 is going to lose their sight, 1 in 2 is going to lose their hearing, and 1 in 4 is going to develop a mobility issue.
Time.
Oh, shucks. We were just getting to the good stuff.
One more statement.
One more statement. We have paid pilot programs in place with 3 different organizations, and we're currently working with Inova and Johns Hopkins Institute.
So give me a call to action with that too. What's the call to action? What do you need from us, from everybody?
We need investment, but there's a nifty cool slide here. If we can just get to it. There we go. We are looking for more partner organizations, early adopter consumers, and investors who are motivated by social impact. We've actually turned down VC firms. We are not interested in big VC money. We are not interested in people that want the 30 times return in 3 years. We want people who are interested in real social impact and understand our mission statement.
Thank you.
So what if I bring traditional design into contemporary markets? What if I mix beautiful materials with
I'm not sure. It's okay.
There you go.
One second.
Yes,
Hold on.
sir.
Let me see if I can open it as a PDF, and I can.
Fine.
So what if we bring traditional designs into the contemporary setting? What if we mix beautiful materials with excellent craftsmanship? What if we tap in the creative culture of Latin America and we generate social and economic impact with that? I saw those three aspects and I saw an opportunity there. I thought that I will create Jimena Rosso Design. Jimena Rosso Design combines traditional artisan techniques with excellent materials and craftsmanship in order to deliver beautiful designs for the home decor market. Our products are manufactured in Colombia by artisan communities. We strive to empower these communities and we contribute to the reduction of poverty, exclusion, and unemployment. Our approach to design is to use very vibrant colors and texture qualities in order to generate an emotional connection with the end user. The market for accessories and home decor in the United States is big and is growing. It is approximately $8 billion on annual revenue, and it has been growing for more than 3% every single year for the last 5 years. This very healthy and steady growth is due in part for the return of consumer confidence and also for the way that consumers are spending their disposable income. So who's my target market? I am target those consumers that are driving growth. They value uniqueness, authenticity, and quality. They like to mix furniture that is modern with objects that tell a story. They appreciate global cultures, and they are also very aware of the environmental and social impact of the products. I will position my brand on this. I will move away from boring furniture that is mass-produced, and I will produce my brand. I will position my brand into the quadrant that brings contemporary style with handmade in order to bring to the market a very appealing brand that appeals into the luxury market. How will I operate? Since I am a military spouse, we move a lot. So I decided that I could design and do product development wherever we get assigned. My products will be produced in Colombia, and then I will participate in trade shows in the United States in order to reach my target market. I have very good news. We have just been accepted for New York Now, which is the biggest trade show in the East Coast for home decor. We will be at the Javits Center in August launching our line. This is a very important endorsement because they really understand the market. They really know what the high-end market is looking for, and they're very confident that our designs will fit the market. So this is a very important milestone. In order to produce, I partner with Hilo Sagrado. Hilo Sagrado is an organization in Colombia that share our mission in order for me to be able to really deliver my promise of social impact. I partner with them. They are part of the Ethical Fashion Forum in London, which is a global organization that brings together the companies that use fair trade, empower women, and sustainable practices. They will completely in charge of overseeing my production in Colombia while I'm here or moving around with my husband. My team. Who's my team? In charge of design, it will be me. Before I create my studio, I used to work for Boeing, and I have more than 15 patents in aircraft design. I work on the 787, the Dreamliner, and I really know firsthand how to revolutionize an industry with good design. For supply chain, I work with my advisor, Bob. Bob used to work for Apple. He's an expert in supply chain, operations, and manufacturing. The team from Hilo Sagrado, Natalia, Emilia, and Ana Maria, they have a background in social development and several years of experience working with communities in Colombia and training them to make sure that they deliver the best products in the artisan market of Colombia. And of course, very, very important, the artisans. This is a part where I always get very emotional, and my husband say, why? I say, because I love them. I really love artisans. They benefit from our work, and they remind me that excellent craftsmanship plus design is the real asset for our company. So when I work with them, I want to make sure that I don't only deliver very good design for users, but I also design very good options for the producers. What is my revenue model? For the first year, I will focus completely in design, and my partnership with Hilo Sagrado will take care of all the production, and they will give me royalty fees. This model allows me to have a very low initial capital investment, and it will give me time to establish my supply chain. For the second year, I want to transition in a more traditional outsourced model, and I believe I will be able to increase the profit margin by going into my own supply chain and having my own production. Now, on regards of the product roadmap, design, expand production and market share, not only in the United States but in Europe. So I have a closing statement. So what if you help me bring my dream to the next level, and you help me bring to the market beautiful products that are emotionally attached to the producers? Thank you.
Quickly, they look beautiful. It's a great presentation, well designed. What I'd like to know is so you give the designs to the artists and they build against your specifications. How much have you sold thus far, or are you actually pre-revenue right now? Have you actually built your, fragmented supply chain deals? Like, where are you in that revenue component?
I will be launching in August.
Okay, so you haven't sold anything yet.
So we haven't sold from this collection anything. I have started producing some prototypes and exposing them to the market. I haven't got any revenue, but I have got wonderful exposure in terms of my design have been showcased in international fairs like the Milan Design Week, Tokyo Design Week. I have participated in different biennales around the world.
I think there's something to separate what you're doing, right? To be on the front end and to go out and acquire the customers and talk to them and tell that design story and have manufacturing be done in a sustainable and ethical way. Zadie is doing this. You have other brands that are trying to do this, that are curating. You don't find a lot of people that are actually sourcing and doing the whole end. But there's a critical area, I think, where you might want to think about after you launch in terms of just going out and doing. Can you talk about like how you want to acquire customers? Is it going to be like just going face to face and talking to them at trade shows, or what does that look like? Because you have the production side locked down, even if it's somebody else's supply chain.
Sure.
Help me understand that.
So the main strategy is going to be participating in trade shows.
Okay.
Then we will follow up with the customers and potential customers.
Yeah.
We will send samples. We will invest in very strong marketing campaign. Have a very, have samples developed so people can really feel and see. We will reach out to boutiques and high-end retail.
What are you looking for?
Support in order to launch this opportunity. I see that I need the investment capital in order to.
How much?
How much? $30,000. It will be the estimate for the first year.
And are you looking for equity or debt?
Equity.
Why not just get 30? There's lots of places.
I'm sorry. I go back. Debt. Yes. I think that the model that I've designed works not by splitting equity, ownership, but debt or partnerships or support, even government support. Since this project has a social impact, I could reach out to different government support, grants, loans.
So you're looking for debt?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
And then what is the margin that you think you would get from a percentage standpoint with your existing supply chain setup? Because one of the things I feel is that your core expertise is the design side of things. When you actually start getting into the manufacturing, which your plan eventually is, that's a different beast.
Yes, correct.
Right? So what is the margin right now? How much of that margins go up if you're looking into the manufacturing side of things? And is it a devil that you better not touch? So I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
So in the initial year, since my model is based on royalty fees, the profit is going to be low, approximately 10% on royalties.
Last one. Thank you all for those who stayed. I really appreciate it. So my name is Kyle Bird. I'm the co-founder of Printocracy. What we do is we build tools for 3D printing service bureaus to be able to quote and manage orders straight from their site. So I want to take a quick step back to talk about the industry kind of over the next 10 years because I think it's really, really exciting. So first of all, the first industrial revolution, we talk about it, was very much so about taking one thing and making it tons of time, right? You can go up to Winchester and watch the injection molders run, and that's the first industrial revolution, right? What's really exciting is we're very much so kind of on the border of the next industrial revolution, which is a bit so the opposite. It's about making a lot of things, but making them in many different ways. I think a good example is Project Aura by Google. You can see here that we have this base phone that we're kind of plugging in this different hardware piece, and from user to user, it's a totally different product. And what it's about is it's about products that are customized as opposed to replaceable. And for us, very much so, these service bureaus are playing a huge part in that, right? Because they're the ecosystem manufacturing. They're revolutionizing supply chains. So what we do is we create a widget for these service bureaus to be able to quote and manage orders right on their site. So what we do is we render this on their site. One of their users can come and upload a model. We take stuff off like volume and surface area and bounding box, and we run it through essentially an API that they've created through our backend to essentially bring up their pricing, right? So for materials, for colors, choose your shipping and order the part, and it can show up at your house in a few days. So right now, some of the customers that we're talking to, right, these guys are really working off the most archaic things on the web, which is essentially emo forms, right? So this is their quoting. I put a little nice little flip phone in there because it might as well be the same thing. Put in your name, put in your company, say, hey, I want some ABS, want 3 of these, right? I'll upload a model, send it out, and see how it goes. And it's really not a way that these service bureaus can scale. So who are these guys? So these guys are early stage service bureaus, and there's actually quite a few out there. So 3D Hubs is the largest aggregator of amateur service bureaus, and they have about 30,000 on their platform. And what's interesting is that these guys are graduating. And what I mean by graduating is these guys were makers in their garages with desktop printers. What they're doing is they're going out and buying commercial grade printers. They're treating this as their business, right? They're growing up. And one of the main things with that is they're kind of building their own sites and building their own businesses. But the tools that they're using haven't grown up with them, and they're very expensive to kind of build a one-off quoting engine. So the major difference between commercial service bureaus, the kind of Shapeways and Sculpteos, these big massive, there's about 5 massive service bureaus in the world right now. The big difference between them and really these small scale guys is really just the ability to quote and manage orders right on their site. And what we're trying to do is close the gap, right? But what it is right now is not distributed manufacturing. So what we do is actually pretty cool. We have a script tag that we can drop on any site. So this is in Script2, right? This is it's one of our beta testers' site. Essentially, we render a button that says get a quote, right? They open it up, right? The entire experience is on their site, feels like their own tool. They upload the model, we take stuff off, they choose material, they choose color, they choose finish, they choose their shipping, and order it right there on the site without actually ever leaving their site. So this is our backend, they manage everything here, and this is essentially creating a quoting API for them, right? So they put in the printers that they have, they put in the materials that they offer, the cost of those materials, the colors per material. They put in stuff like their finishes, their pricing for, say, cubic millimeters or centimeters, etc. And then they can also manage their orders through this kind of backlog Kanban process, right? So orders are coming in, they're able to say, hey, is this open? Is this being printed right now? Or is this done and shipped? There's all the information from the customer that ordered the print, and also kind of a download so you can start the print. So these are our beta testers. What's really interesting about 3D Musketeers, right? I love their names. I think it's really funny. So we haven't done any marketing, and I think most of these guys found us through Twitter. It's been really great, right? So we opened our beta actually up early. We've been getting a ton of great feedback, a lot of which has gone into a ton of features over the last weeks, and as well as some of our kind of defined our roadmap going forward. So, major rule of PowerPoint, don't put up a bunch of words, but that's happening. I think it's really important, right? And this is Gardner here talking. So we're looking at 500,000 printers being sold in 2015. That's supposed to double year over year until 2019. 5.6 million printers. From being in this industry for 5 years and seeing what it was back then, that's really crazy, and it's great to see. What's really cool is on the services side, we're looking at almost $1 billion in 2015 to 6.9 billion in 2018. That's just in services. When you look at the spending money on the technology as a whole, going from 1.6 billion to 13.4 billion in 2018, it's pretty wild, and we're really excited because we think this is really about the growth of the service bureaus and creating this ecosystem of distributed manufacturing. So real quick, a lot of the stuff that we're going into, we do 3D printing, but at the end of the day, these are agile manufacturers. These are small-scale manufacturers, and they're involved in not only 3D printing, but CNC machining as well. I've run CNCs, I've built CNCs, and we're excited to get into quoting CNC as well. And I believe that is time. Thank you, I would love to. I know everyone's like...